By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to buy your first rental property with little to no money out of pocket, and you will have a step-by-step plan you can start today, even if your bank account is looking rough right now. I know that sounds impossible. I know you have been told your entire life that real estate investing is only for wealthy people, for trust fund kids, for people who already have 6 figures sitting in savings. But here is a fact that will shock you. A study from the National Association of Realtors found that 22% of first-time real estate investors started with less than $5,000. Some started with literally nothing, zero. And they are building wealth right now while most people are still waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. But before we get to the strategy, most financial advisors never tell their clients, the one that can shave years off your real estate journey and requires $0 up front, let me walk you through the exact framework that took me from completely broke to owning multiple rental properties. Today, I am going to show you 3 things that will change everything. First, the 7 specific no-money-down strategies that actually work in today's market. Second, the exact numbers behind each method so you can see which one fits your situation. And third, the biggest mistakes that destroy beginners before they even close their first deal. Quick, if you have ever struggled with feeling like real estate investing is out of reach because you do not have enough cash saved up, hit the like button right now. It tells the algorithm this content is valuable and helps us reach more people who need to hear this. Here is the painful truth nobody wants to talk about. Right now, there are millions of people who want financial freedom. They want passive income. They want to stop trading hours for dollars at jobs they hate. They have read the books. They have watched the videos. They have dreamed about owning rental properties that pay them every single month. And yet they are stuck, completely frozen. Because every time they look at real estate listings, they see down payments of $30,000, $50,000, sometimes $100,000. They do the math and realize that at their current savings rate, it would take them 8 to 12 years just to save enough for one property. By then, prices have risen even more. The goal keeps moving further away. Meanwhile, inflation is eating away at whatever savings they do have. Their rent keeps going up. They are paying someone else's mortgage while their landlord builds wealth. A Federal Reserve study found that the median American household has only $8,000 in savings. After an emergency fund, that leaves almost nothing for a down payment. It feels hopeless, but here is what nobody tells you. The down payment is not the barrier. Your mindset is. The wealthiest real estate investors I know did not start with money. They started with creativity, with knowledge, with the willingness to do what other people would not. And that is exactly what I am about to give you. Let me break down the 7 strategies that actually work with real numbers, real examples, and the exact steps to execute each one. Strategy number 1 is house hacking, and this is the most powerful entry point for beginners. Here is how it works. You buy a small multifamily property, a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, using an owner-occupied loan. You live in one unit and rent out the others. The rental income covers your mortgage, sometimes entirely. Let me give you real numbers. Say you find a duplex for $300,000. With an FHA loan, you put down 3.5%. That is $10,500. Sounds like a lot, but here is the key. You can use gift funds from family, down payment assistance programs, or seller credits to cover most or all of it. Your mortgage is around $2,000 monthly. You live in one unit and rent the other for $1,500. Your actual housing cost is now $500. That is less than most people pay for a studio apartment. Here is where most people get this wrong. They look for perfect properties in perfect neighborhoods and wait forever. The fix is simple. Buy an acceptable property in an appreciating area and make it perfect over time. The equity you build will fund your next purchase. Strategy number 2 is seller financing, and this one is seriously underrated. Instead of getting a loan from a bank, the seller acts as the bank. They own the property outright, and you make payments directly to them. Why would a seller do this? Older investors often want steady monthly income rather than a lump sum. They might want to avoid a huge tax bill from a capital gains hit, or the property might not qualify for traditional financing. Stop. Before I continue, this next part is critical. With seller financing, you can negotiate zero down or very low down payments. I have seen deals close with $500 down. The terms are completely flexible. You might pay 7% interest over 15 years, or you might negotiate 5% over 30 years. Everything is on the table. Here is where most people get this wrong. They never ask. They assume every seller wants cash. The fix is to include a seller financing question in every conversation. You will be shocked how many say yes. Strategy number 3 is the BRRRR method, and this stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. This strategy lets you recycle the same money over and over. Here is how it works with numbers. You find a distressed property worth $150,000 after repairs. You buy it for $80,000 using hard money or private money. You put $20,000 into renovations. You are in for $100,000 total. You rent it out. Then you refinance with a traditional lender at 75% of the appraised value. That is $112,500. You pay off your hard money loan of $100,000 and pocket $12,500. You now have a rental property that cash flows, and you got paid to buy it. Here is where most people get this wrong. They underestimate repair costs and overestimate after-repair value. The fix is to get 3 contractor bids and use conservative comparable sales. Always assume things will cost more and take longer. Strategy number 4 is lease options, and this next section changed everything for me. A lease option gives you the right to buy a property at a set price within a certain time frame while you lease it in the meantime. You control the property without owning it yet. Let me paint a picture. You find a homeowner who is struggling to sell. The property has been on the market for months. You offer a lease option. You will rent the property for $1,500 monthly, with $200 of that going toward your future down payment. You lock in a purchase price of $200,000 with the option to buy any time in the next 3 years. During those 3 years, the market appreciates. The property is now worth $240,000. You exercise your option, buy at $200,000, and have instant equity of $40,000. Your only upfront cost was the option fee, which can be as low as 1 to 5%, and that money goes toward your purchase. Here is where most people get this wrong. They do not get the lease option agreement reviewed by a real estate attorney. The fix is to spend the $300 on legal review. It will save you thousands. If you have made it this far, you are already ahead of 95% of people. And what I am about to share in this next section is the most valuable part of this entire video. Do not skip it. Subscribe to Wealth Decode Plus if you have not already. We drop a brand new money strategy every single day at 6 p.m. Hit that notification bell so you never miss one. Strategy number 5 is partnerships, and I need to pause here because this is where most people go wrong. You do not need to have money. You need to find money. And there are people everywhere with capital sitting in savings accounts earning 2% who would love to invest in real estate but do not have the time or knowledge. You become the expert. You find the deal. You manage the project. They provide the capital. You split the profits. This is how Donald Trump started. This is how most large developers operate. Here is how it works practically. You find a rental property that will generate $10,000 in annual cash flow. Your partner puts up the $60,000 down payment. You manage everything. You split the cash flow 50-50. Your partner gets $5,000 yearly return on their $60,000, an 8% plus return that beats most investments. You get $5,000 yearly for $0 invested. After 5 years, you have earned $25,000 and built a track record for your next deal. Here is where most people get this wrong. They try to take too much of the deal. The fix is to be generous in your first few partnerships. A smaller piece of something is better than 100% of nothing. Strategy number 6 is assuming existing loans. But here is what nobody tells you about this method. Some loans are assumable, meaning you can take over the seller's existing mortgage at their interest rate. Why does this matter right now? Because sellers who bought in 2020 or 2021 have mortgages at 3% interest rates. Current rates are nearly double that. Taking over a 3% loan versus getting a new 7% loan could save you hundreds of dollars monthly in payment. FHA and VA loans are typically assumable. Here is a real scenario. A seller has a VA loan with a $200,000 balance at 2.75% interest. Their payment is $816 monthly. Current market rate would make that payment $1,131 for the same loan amount. By assuming their loan, you save $315 every single month. That is $3,780 yearly in your pocket. Here is where most people get this wrong. They do not ask sellers what type of loan they have. The fix is simple. Add this question to every seller conversation. What type of mortgage do you have? Strategy number 7 is government programs, and most people skip this step, but do not. There are over 2,400 down payment assistance programs in the United States alone. These include FHA loans requiring only 3.5% down, USDA loans requiring 0 down in eligible rural areas, VA loans requiring 0 down for veterans. State and local down payment assistance grants you never have to repay. Let me give you a specific example. The California Housing Finance Agency offers up to $100,000 in down payment assistance through their Dream for All program. Texas has the My First Texas Home program offering up to 5% in assistance. Florida has the Hometown Heroes program for frontline workers. These programs exist in every state. Here is where most people get this wrong. They assume they do not qualify without checking. The fix is to search your state name plus down payment assistance program today. Spend 30 minutes researching. You might find tens of thousands of dollars waiting for you. Now, let me tell you exactly what to do with this information. Today, in the next 10 minutes, I want you to write down which 2 strategies fit your situation best. Are you someone who could house hack? Do you have a network of potential private money partners? Could you qualify for down payment assistance? Pick 2 and write them down. This week, take 3 specific actions. First, get pre-approved for an FHA loan so you know your buying power. Second, search for down payment assistance programs in your state and apply for any you qualify for. Third, start analyzing 1 property per day on Zillow or Redfin, using the rental income potential to build your analysis muscle. Use free tools like the BiggerPockets Rental Property Calculator and Rentometer to estimate rental values. This month, build your system. Connect with a real estate agent who works with investors. Join 1 local real estate investing meetup. Have 5 conversations with potential private money partners, even if it is just planting seeds. Now let me answer the question I planted at the beginning. What is the strategy most financial advisors never tell their clients? The one that can shave years off your real estate journey? It is this. You do not need to save up a massive down payment. You need to become valuable to people who already have capital. When you bring knowledge, deal flow, and hustle to the table, money finds you. I have seen 23-year-olds with empty bank accounts control millions in real estate because they understood this principle. The money is not the problem. The value you bring is the solution. Let me recap the 3 key takeaways. First, there are at least 7 legitimate strategies to invest in real estate with little to no money, from house hacking to government programs to creative financing. Second, every strategy requires you to bring something to the table, whether it is knowledge, time, deal-finding ability, or management skills. Third, the biggest barrier is not your bank account. It is your willingness to take imperfect action while others wait for perfect conditions that never come. Comment below and tell me which of these 7 strategies are you going to try first. I read every single comment and I will personally reply to as many as I can. Your first deal is closer than you think. In tomorrow's video, I am revealing how to analyze any rental property in under 5 minutes to know if it is a good deal, something that took me years to figure out and most people never learn. Subscribe right now so you do not miss it.